Today's sponsor is Loot Crate. For less than $20 a month, Loot Crate gives the geek in you a special treat every month. Loot Crate is a subscription box service with $40 plus worth of geek, gamer, and pop culture gear, collectibles, apparel, comics, etc. delivered to your mailbox every month. This month, they're celebrating all the monsters you can fit in your pocket and the ones you need some crazy circle drawing skills to bring to the mortal realm. This month's crate features an exclusive collectible they're told is, quote, the most important object in pretty much the whole universe, end quote, plus awesome items from Blizzard, Kid Robot, and more. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens, that's it, Jack. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/kindafunny and enter the code kindafunny to save $3 on your new subscription today. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the GameOverGreggy show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
You know, up until this point,
what are you doing with your mouth?
I didn't know I had another side to my face.
Oh, you've never been head on with the camera before?
Yeah. Well, we should preface that everyone's sick.
Yeah.
And dying.
3/5 of Kinda Funny is sick right now with the PAX plague. The PAX Pox.
Kristine, we haven't introduced her yet, so we can't make mention of her yet. We can't even acknowledge that she's sitting to the right of me.
Miss Mass Effect. Kristine Steimer from SteimerSays.com.
There she is.
Thank you for stepping up to the plate,
kind enough to
coming
step
here,
in,
helping us out today.
So there's no Kevin, which means there's no one monitoring audio.
Right.
I think this
so
sounds good, but I'm looking at our...
You look at it all the time.
Right, I'm looking at our confidence monitor in
Right.
this area over here.
How confident are you in the confidence
You guys
monitor?
look like normal-sized people, but I look like a giant.
You do.
You're a little
It's
close to the
perspective.
camera. It's perspective.
Oh, is it perspective? Also, I'm just really big.
Also,
aren't I?
you're really pale, so that
I'm
makes
also
you look
really
bigger.
pale. Thank you, honey.
White things look
Thank you,
bigger.
babe.
They do.
White things look bigger.
They do.
It's like
Well,
if
that
you
works to
wear
my
white,
advantage.
like it makes you look larger, but if you wear black, it's more slimming.
Well, and what are the stripes you don't want? Is it horizontal or vertical?
Horizontal, you don't want because it makes you look wider.
I see a lot of people wearing horizontal. I think is
I
that
know,
over?
it's a
Are we
big
done
no.
with that?
Yeah, people.
Are we
just
done
keep
with
wearing
no
it.
white
People don't care.
after Labor Day 2 or before or whatever?
I wear white whenever the fuck I want.
Exactly.
I'm not trying to.
Mostly, I don't really wear a lot of white
wear
only
white.
because I'm scared of spilling things.
This isn't a topic at all today, but I stopped in a Walgreens and I walked down the aisle and there was an older woman there, and I mean like 70s,
40s? Oh, okay.
late 60s, early 70s.
Not like 40.
And here's what I'll say: the old person you run into in a Walgreens in the middle of a day has not changed.
No.
That looks the same as when my grandmother would take me to Walgreens, and she kind of was dressed like that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like those. At what point, at what age do you get to where it's just all fucking done? No more t-shirt, no more jeans, moo-moo-ish thing, loose fitting everything, and you're just like done.
I don't know that it's happening anymore. Like I feel.
I
like
just
that's-
saw it today, Kristine. It's happening.
No, I know, but that's like the tail end. Like that will die off. But I'm wondering if
That will die off.
sounds horrible.
Sad.
But I just feel
Dust
like
in the
there's the youth culture happening right now, like, even, and nobody wants to get old, so
I don't want you
they
old, right?
are trying anything really to keep up their appearances. I don't know. I guess I'm just seeing like older ladies they're just keeping it up
I'd agree with that. I agree that a lot. I mean, we're a lot more health conscious now, and I think people are
Yeah.
obviously living longer. But I think I think when I hit 40, I'm gonna start that.
The moo
Yeah.
Just give it
Okay.
up. Just be
Yeah.
done with it.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
no more
Oh, yeah.
t-shirts, Nick.
Oh no, I'll still wear t-shirts. I'll just do I'm gonna do what my grandma did. My grandma Scarpino, God rest her soul. She's passed, but she used to wear like really, really like the really nice sweatpants suit, with like really expensive
Nice.
heels. Well, she had her sweatpants.
Like the
Were they like the
juicy,
velvet?
like
Were
the
they the
juicy
velvet
with the
ones?
juicy on the
Yeah,
butt?
it was like, but it was like the old woman's
Crushed
so
velvet.
she was always kind of comfortable and always just a little like we never had the heart to tell her, but I was like, Grandma, that's a little inappropriate because we're at a wedding. But
It's a white tracksuit at a
she
wedding.
was like 75, 80. She didn't give a shit.
No.
And you know what? God bless you, because if you're fortunate enough, or you're tough enough, I should say, to have survived that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wear a fucking
not easy to
sweatsuit
do
to a wedding.
nowadays.
Who gives a shit? Yeah, my grandma was hilarious. All she bought was shoes. So when she passed away, there were closets and closets full of shoes from Nordstrom, and my aunts took them back and made thousands of dollars. Because up until
you can return anything at Nordstrom's.
Yeah.
Well, you need the shank or a receipt.
What's a shank?
It's the sticker.
Oh, they had the boxes. Like she
Yeah,
had that,
which
all
would
the
probably
stuff.
had the sticker on.
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
why
So
they
they
couldn't
had.
return
It was just. It was.
I just want to clarify. You can't just bring random shoes to Nordstrom and return them.
No,
Sure.
you can't. They have to have sold that there at a certain
Yeah.
point. Yeah, and they're getting a little tougher about that because I think people were abusing the that
I used to
process.
work at Nordstrom. Yeah, there
Yeah.
was a lot of abuse.
Like, do you have a shank, miss? No, get out of here.
I'm like, I don't have a
I
shank.
have a
Not-
shank too.
I have this
Cereal
shank.
with.
Take back the dog. You're like, we don't
When-
even sell
That's what we
dogs.
called the sticker.
Okay.
Shank. I don't know if it's
No.
I feel like we're fortunate though, our generation though, because we are the t-shirt generation. We don't need to necessarily worry about.
Yeah.
You talk to me like, when am I going to wear a movie? I'm like, why? When it's more comfortable than my
Yes.
Volcom shirt that I'm wearing right now, which is I wore specifically because I totally forgot we were filming 1,000 Things today, and I'm like, this is my most comfortable shirt.
But you look good in it. Look at
it's-
that. You look
it's
good.
okay.
You look at that.
Looks
Look,
nice.
that's a good looking shirt
We're
on
like
you.
the great
It's
team.
well, the Heather
You are
Gray,
a great
as you
team,
know,
man. Yeah.
because you're wearing Heather Gray currently.
Yeah.
You
See,
generally
no,
be a
no.
little more comfortable.
Sorry, guys. No.
What?
There has to be a fucking rule here. Because that's what Nick tried to say the other day. Oh, no, we're going to put the Diamond Dog shirt on the Heather Gray shirt. I'm like, I don't think I'll wear it. But these both can't be Heather Gray. One is clearly darker than the
This
other.
is a Heather Gray. I
This
would
is Heather
say.
Gray.
Yeah,
That's
this
more
is
like steel gray.
more
Thank
of a,
you.
Yeah, it's more of a charcoal actually.
Or
You're
charcoal.
right,
Yeah,
you're
charcoal.
right.
Yeah.
But it's heathered, which is
Oh
Like
my
the-
God.
which means that there is the texture to it of multicolors. From what I can glean,
They're just
I don't
making
know.
it up, guys. They're
My
just
wife
making it up as
says
they
shit to
go.
me all the time, and she doesn't give
We
me
like
context, so
gray.
I don't really know. My wife's like, that's Gingham, and I'm like, what?
Gingham? That's
what?
not a real thing. Your wife made that
I'm
up.
probably mispronouncing it. That's why.
Yeah, I think you are.
Gingham? Maybe it's gingham. It's like a checkered pattern.
Giggity.
Yeah. I don't.
I'll Google it.
It's
You're
like a checkered
mispronouncing
pattern.
It
It is
making
checkered
my
pattern.
What is
brain not
this?
being able to figure
Well,
out.
check- like,
You're
you
doing
know-
3D. You're the Dudley Boys now.
No, not big checkers. Small checkers is. I'll Google it.
Yeah.
You do
I'm
that. While you do
mispronouncing
that,
it
I'll
right
tell
now,
everybody that this, of course,
cool.
is the Game Over Greggy show. Each and
yeah.
every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table. Each bring a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can toss us a few bucks and get each and every episode early. If you have no bucks to toss, it's not a big deal. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny. It's in my head from the Gamescast. Where you can get the show broken up topic by topic, day by day, until we post the entire thing on Friday as one big video, and of course, an MP3. What do you got from me over there, checkered boy?
Nothing yet. I'm not spelling it right.
So here's
He doesn't know how to do it.
I'm starting off with my topic. My topic is I want to know your worst sick stories of being
Because everybody is sick?
Because everyone is sick from PAX. Kevin has 102 fever dreams. Tim's putting up selfies that are terrible. Colin
Yeah.
just walks around the
Tim
house.
looked like he aged about 20 years.
Colin's walking around the house
Gingham.
coughing like he's some kind of horrible poltergeist.
That's gingham.
Okay. So just
Yes.
a checkered.
Checkered.
pattern.
Okay.
Like it looks like a picnic tablecloth.
picnic table.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not going to
picnic
put this in
tablecloth.
there.
That's Gingham.
Kevin's not here to edit the
I got it.
episodes.
I
So you're going
got
to be
you,
lucky
dog.
if I put any graphics on.
I got you. You keep
Let
talking.
alone
and
show
I'll
you what gingham is.
I'll show him what it is.
Oh.
Thank you. Here comes everybody. Here comes a Chiron from Nick Scarpino. That's it. That's
You
it.
don't want to use the red one?
That's it.
It's more like checkered. Like.
No, that's not. That's actually plaid.
Well, I know, but it's so hard to read on camera.
It's fine. They see it. They understand. All right, there you go.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Ooh. Yeah.
Wow, there it
Pump
is.
that
Come on,
gingham.
dance it over. Colin isn't here to
Oh.
stop you. No one's here to stop you. You want to go to the bathroom? You just
Portillo's
go.
asleep.
I always get so offended when I have to go to the bathroom, and then you guys make fun of me because I pee every 2 hours, and
You're
it's
just
like
flushing
it's not
your
every
system
2
out.
hours.
Who's
It's
sick?
every
Who's not
hour.
sick?
What's that?
I said who's sick and who's not sick.
That's a great point.
You know, I mean,
Flushing. You're constantly flushing toxins out of your body. Is what you're doing.
boom, and hydrating my muscles and my brain helps me think, and I like the feeling when
Chris,
the
you
liquid
like
is
the
leaving my
feeling?
penis.
Christine bought one of the jugs that filters the water, you know?
Oh yeah.
She did that, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years
Yeah.
ago probably. I just started using it while she was gone for that week, and now I can't stop. Now it's so good, I can't drink the tap water.
It tastes
So
much better.
she bought. You mean like the Brita
Like a
filter?
Brita
Yeah, the
filter.
Brita
Yeah,
filter.
oh yeah.
It's been
Oh,
there
dude,
forever,
oh
yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it was almost a point of pride for you to not use it though. Like
It was.
it started
This
to become
water's
a
fine.
thing of like, yeah, I'm gonna drink out of the tap water. Fuck you. And I'm like, okay, it's not as good. I don't know. We have the Brita water available for you.
I like to be ready for any circumstance. That's
I
why, like,
respect that.
That's why, you know, like, people are always like, well, you don't have to bring your computer on this trip or whatever. I'm like, I want to be ready. Oh, and the other thing is, like, I don't use the mouse or external keyboard for my laptop. I only
he
use the
wants to ruin
trackpad,
his,
so that
tendons.
I'm ready for anything. If I can edit it, I can edit it
He's gonna get
anywhere,
carpal tunnel
anytime.
Next year. It's like,
my hand doesn't
look,
go
I'm all
anymore.
ready. My fucking hand's broken.
I can edit something anywhere, anytime.
I respect that. I will tell you the one thing I really like about the Brita is that it keeps the water cold. That's actually
that
the
is
only
really
reason why I
nice.
give a
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
about it. It does taste better.
It tastes a little
But
better.
my wife, the problem with the Brita though is then every once in a while you have to replace the filter, or then it starts to taste really bad because then it just starts filtering through all the shit it's filtered out before, and you get that really weird acrylic taste to it. You're like, time to change the filter.
Kristine's
You gotta like,
militant about changing it. So
yeah,
I
you
don't-
gotta do
Mike,
it.
Greg, yeah, change the filter.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
bad.
I don't even drink out of this thing, and now I do.
But I like that.
Yep.
cold water.
Where are 6 stories?
We're 6 stories. Oh man.
Oh, are you talking? You mean like flu sick, not
Yeah.
like alcohol
Not like
sick.
cancer. Oh, if you want to be alcohol sick, you could, I guess. But I'm thinking, yeah, like your worst cold. Like what happened? Because mine is I've told it before in passing is the Comic-Con story. Probably 2009, where I went and woke up on a Sunday morning and I was like, oh, I don't feel good, blah, blah, blah. But I'm like, I'm going to still walk the floor with Hillary. And I had to stop. I almost passed out. We were walking around the hall and I was like, I'm lightheaded. I need to stop. Came home and then woke up that Monday morning and couldn't talk, couldn't speak. Like, you know what I mean? My throat was like barely open. And it was the first time I ever had to email into IGN to be like, I can't. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't know. I'd whisper in the email. But I had to be like, hey, for the first time ever.
Like, what,
like,
write
the
smaller
Voice to
text?
text. He's trying to like.
It's like
I'm so
tiny.
sick I can't use
6 font.
I can't use my fingers. That I had to take a sick day there because it was just so bad.
Right.
And that's when I stayed home and watched. I remember I watched True Blood and for the first time, and I was telling you about it, and I'm like, this show's weird. And you're like, why? I'm like, I don't know. They're having hot sex scenes, but then he'll bite her in the neck, and there'll be blood pouring down her naked boobies. And you were like, that's weird. And then we're like, let's
And
watch
then
the
we watched
show.
it.
We watched it.
Until it was awful.
Yeah,
And
and then
unwatchable.
season right around season 4, you're like, I'm gonna not watch this show
What's the
anymore.
show
Yeah.
about anymore? But that was like the one that I remember like catching me super off guard.
Sure.
And I remember
Yeah.
as a kid being sick. I remember there was one time where my mom let me rent RoboCop because like I didn't have pneumonia, but I was close to pneumonia.
Sure.
Like, so it was just like
Yeah.
sprawled out on the living room floor and like like blankets and like have a little bowl in case I threw up because that was always my thing. I was always terrified of throwing up. Have we ever
you
talked
throw
about
up
this?
a lot?
Oh no, I've
Or
heard
were
you
you
talk
just
about that
scared
a
of
lot.
throwing up? But you.
It was both. My mom tends to exaggerate some of the stories. I feel. But
She's a liar.
I don't have a great memory
Just kidding.
because these are like early days Greg stories of how I had a blue bowl I'd carry with me because I got sick and like when she drive me to the
Carry with you,
doctor.
what do you- to
When
what
she drive me to
extent?
the doctor, I had this blue bowl that I took with me in case I threw up in the car because I was terrified to throw it up in the car. And I remember that, but according to her, I kept the bowl for 6 months afterwards, terrified of this. And if you took it away from me, I got so worked up I would throw up. Now that all sounds crazy, but I'm not arguing it because I don't remember. She was the adult then.
You're not arguing it because there's a
'cause
part of
that's
your
it.
brain
That
that
knows
realizes
it's
that it could be
true.
true.
That does kind
Yeah.
of sound like a Greg
It
Miller story
sounds-
from the guy who peed in a Dixie cup and threw it behind his dresser. So I don't know.
I think I can't remember the last time I got sick. I do remember the experience. Well, I mean, I'm feeling a little under it right now, but I think it's just because I'm worn out.
Yeah.
But when I get sick, I get violently sick to the point where like I'm under like 15 covers, freezing, shivering, and sweating at the same time.
I hate that.
And I fucking hate that feeling. But there is somewhat of a silver cloud to being sick in that it's your body and life's way of telling you to slow down
Yep.
and relax for a few minutes and
Yeah.
like eat whatever you want to eat and do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, but I hate it when that happens though, and you're so sick you can't do those things.
Wait.
know.
So yeah.
I'm so
Binge
sick. I'm
lose
gonna.
weight,
I'm gonna.
it's
Next time
awesome.
I'm
I'm
sick,
gonna
I'm gonna
play
play
video
games and
games,
eat a
and then
pizza. And
you
you're
can't
like, I
play
can't
video
eat
games.
anything and I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get that kind of sick that often. I would get sick a lot, whereas mostly just my stomach doesn't feel well. But as for flu sick, I get that maybe once a year, if that. And the times that are the worst ones are when it's like chills, but you're hot. Like you just like
Oh, it's the
you just
worst.
can't feel. You're just I don't know. You just feel like a ball of disgusting germs.
Right.
And then I would be like, oh well, I'll play big games. And then I'm like, this is making me dizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't
Just
play
being
this.
up, the energy it takes to do this is too much for me. And then you feel bad because I'm sleeping next to my wife, and it's like it can't be a fun experience for her
Yeah.
to watch someone go through this. Let alone the fact that I'm like sweating through sheets, and every once in a while getting up to like go to the bathroom, do God knows what in there.
Diarrhea in the
Yeah,
bed.
it's like I'm pouring out chocolate
In the
milk, and you're like,
bed?
what the hell's going on? I've never shit the bed before.
Really?
I've come close.
You've not shit the bed.
No. I have. Well, I have.
Remember when we thought you might for cancer?
No. Oh my God. Remember how mad I got at
Yeah.
you? Like really into it
And
too.
I was like, I don't know. People are telling me this. I just want to
No,
make
it
sure
was
we're
like- it
prepared.
was-
I have a brand. I just bought a Tempur-Pedic. I don't want you shitting on it.
Yeah, you can't shit on Tempur-Pedic, bro.
I wasn't.
Unless like a chocolate covered marshmallow. You can't make a s'more. You know what I mean?
No, when I got diagnosed with cancer, and I didn't really know what I was up against yet or whatever. And
Sure.
I was still like, I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna get to play games while I do chemo and stuff, which is gonna be great because that was my thing. I was like, I'm gonna get time to play games
He
while
was
I
so
chemo.
weird. He was like, I'm so excited. Chemo's gonna be great. And I'm like,
I really thought I was
are
getting.
you okay?
I really thought I was
think
going to
you're
get
delusional.
4 to 5 hours a week where I could just sit there and goof off and not feel bad about
Now-
it. Because that's not how I work. You know how I work. I work
Yeah.
myself till I fucking go to bed.
To be fair, that's what you should have done. You should have just taken a lot more time off than you did.
Oh, well, yeah, I
you
shouldn't
took like all
then not
told
gotten
a day
cancer.
off.
Yeah, there was that one day
Well,
where I
I'm
couldn't
not
get
gonna-
up at noon. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to fault you for getting the cancer, but at the same time, I'm
It's your
like,
fault.
I literally remember pulling you aside when you told me, and I was like, all right, cool. So whatever you need, we will make work.
Yeah.
Like, just take as much time off as you need, and we will you literally could just come in one day, do what you got to do, and you're like, yeah, no problem. That sounds awesome. Never
do it.
never talk to me again
Do you
about
remember?
it.
Do you
Kept
remember
coming
when
in? We shaved your head. That was it. It was like,
Remember when I broke it to you, Drucker, and Altano
Yeah,
in that
in that
room?
little office.
And as soon as I was done, and you guys were like, "Oh man," I'm like, and I turned to you and I'm like, "I think we should film me telling I think you should do a documentary about me going through this." And you're like, "No, like I can't do that. You go get cancer, and we'll see how you feel about
no,
that."
it was just like, well, for one, I definitely didn't want to come off to the audience that we were trying to capitalize off of it, and I think that
Yeah.
you were really good and sincere about it up to that point. But the other thing was too is I was like, I know you're just going to fucking, and no pun intended, kill yourself
Yeah.
to not not it's not that we weren't dealing with it, it's just that you don't shut it off ever. You never do.
That was
Yeah.
frustrating for me.
And it's like it's hard. It's really hard dealing with because I had that part
Because
of
I
me
was like,
too.
just sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
Like, no, like, don't go to work. And when you were trying to go, because, your friend had passed, and I was like,
Ah,
you
yeah.
can't fucking travel. You need to get chemo. Like, it needs to be your number one priority. And I understand that there are shitty things happening, and I feel really bad for you. And all I want to do is figure out a way to comfort you. But, like, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I have to go. I have to. I'm like,
Well, it worked
"God."
itself out. It worked itself out.
It did.
Hand of God intervened on that one. We're
Yes.
What happened with
Thankfully.
that?
We went into chemo and they couldn't do
So,
it. because
remember-
his vein collapsed.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's a
apparently
weird way.
It's common, but they just never felt the need to tell us.
The one for cancer, yeah, it was like, well, yeah, when it starts. First off, the shit the bed story.
Oh,
was just
yeah.
that your aunt had told you of somebody she knew who went through chemo and shit the bed.
She did.
Okay.
Like almost all of the women on my father's side have had breast cancer.
I really hope we're gonna say shit the bed.
No. But so when my aunt was going through chemo, she
Yeah.
had a really rough time with it.
Yeah.
And
You were terrified of that. I'm like, and finally I was just like, I'm not gonna shit the bed. Like,
yeah, and then you're like,
it's
I have
over.
discretion. And I was like,
Now
can we get some plastic sheets?
the thing with the other one was there was one day where I woke up on a Friday
don't
for
have plastic
chemo.
sheets.
Yeah, thank God, because I wasn't gonna shit that goddamn bed.
He didn't.
I would sooner shove Portillo's leg up my butt to keep the shit from coming out.
Got a claw on it.
I know. I'm not.
He's got more than one.
It's like 4 or 3. I can't
I'm
never
not,
counted.
I'm not benefiting from this. I woke up one day for chemo when I took I take the day off IGN to go get chemo or whatever, and I woke up to news that a friend from Missouri had died, and so I was like, I broke down, like I was devastated, and I was like to her, I want to go to this, maybe I could get chemo and then get on a plane, and she's like, no, you can't, da 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 da. So then we went to get the chemo, and they got there, and I broke down in tears before they even started. And they're like, what's up? And I'm like, somebody's dying. Oh, okay, sorry about that. So they came in, tried to go through my hand as usual. It didn't work. They went through this hand. They couldn't do it. They dug around with the fucking needle and shit. And they went to both arms, and they left, and they came back, and they're like, yeah, like, so this is a possibility sometimes that your veins just, get too small and too hard to do this.
Yeah.
So now you have to get a port. And that's when I got the port in my chest.
Interesting.
Which they had, in the beginning, they were like, do you want to get a port? And I was like, what is it? And they're like, we put this, you go
I
under
was mad at
surgery, you
them.
get this thing, it goes straight to your heart. You don't have to ever get IVs in your arms. And I was like, seems like a lot of work. I'll just do that. And so then like halfway through
Because they never once said, potentially, halfway through, this could stop working and we need to get you a port.
if you're watching right
anyway.
now and somebody's about to go for cancer or you're going to get it one day, get the
Just get
fucking
the
port.
fucking
Just
port.
get the port. It's way easier. It's nicer. You don't get stuck all the time.
And then you don't get people digging around in your arms.
Yeah.
You just-
Fuck
Yeah.
me, man. No, I can't do that.
So, anyways, I couldn't get chemo that day. I had to have surgery on the port, so I got to go to the funeral and everything. It was,
Well,
So it worked out.
I
But
guess that's
before
good.
that,
It worked
but
out.
before we had known that
Yeah,
was
yeah.
what was going to happen, I was like, "Are you kidding me? You are sick." And although you don't really act like it, you are. Oh my, hello.
Is that Colin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's rocking out.
Okay.
I guess he's awake.
Is he trying to sleep? Is that why
I
he's
probably
doing
he
this?
That's how
asked
he
asked
sleeps.
us to shut the door, and I was like, it's way too hot to shut the door in here.
Okay.
I can't do that to us.
I wonder how much you can hear.
Probably fairly well.
Watch,
This
look,
is-
you can see it.
Oh, you can't hear the music.
No.
No, for all of you out there that are listening,
Oh.
Colin's
Oh.
blaring music. No, I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
Oh,
I just worried that we're
was.
disturbing Colin,
Got it.
but we're almost done.
I don't know what we do. We're not almost done, but we can't shut the door, and
Almost-
we can't not do the show.
Almost is a relative term.
Okay.
Yeah, that reminds me of actually the last time I actually was sick. And by sick, I don't mean I had a cold or a flu. It was that I had an experience that made me physically ill for like 2 days. And that was when I had my blood drawn. And that
I
was-
forgot about this.
Holy
Did
shit,
they
that
take too
rocked my
much?
world. No, what had happened was on the paperwork it said, don't eat anything from the hours of after past midnight the night before because it'll throw off your
you're a
blood work.
gremlin.
Yeah, because I'm a gremlin. It's going to turn me into what I thought that meant was don't eat or drink anything. And I got in there and she looked at my veins on my arm and she was like, when's the last time you had any water? And I was like, I don't know. Like it said don't eat or drink anything, so I haven't eaten or had anything since like 10 o'clock last night. And she goes, oh, no, that's bad. You should really have water if you're going to have blood drawn. Go drink some water right now. And I was like, oh, shit, should I wait? And she goes, no, you'll probably be okay. And I was like, all right. Didn't think to ask her what was going to happen if I wasn't hydrated.
Yeah.
So she had to use this special. She was like, well, I can't find your veins, so I have to use this special thing that looked like a
butterfly
two-prong.
needle?
Yeah, it was like a butterfly needle. I don't know what the fuck that means. But
It's just like really tiny. They're more expensive, but like they go in your veins a lot easier.
yeah, so that happened. And I'm usually fine with it. I don't want to look at it. I'm not trying to see my fucking blood pumping out of it. But I'm normally okay. I kind of look away and kind of just don't think about it.
Yeah.
I'm fine. They pull it out and I'm good. And they're like, you okay? I'm good normally. I'm like, yeah. But this time I was like,
No.
she was like, how you doing? And I was like, I don't, and this is a very foreign thing for me to say because I try to be
Macho.
tough and macho. But I'm like, I got to be honest with you, I'm getting a little lightheaded, which is weird. And she goes, okay, well, look down and like put your head down. And I'm
Do they
like,
like give you food or anything?
no, nothing. Like usually, and that was the other thing too. Is
Where's
like,
my goddamn cooking orange
usually
juice?
they give you immediately give you a
they
cookie
give
orange
something,
juice and you
it's
start.
sugar. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we don't have anything of that. And I was like, oh, okay.
What kind of blood
I was
bank
like,
was
okay,
this?
I guess I'll.
Are you sure you didn't just donate to some random homeless
No,
guy?
it wasn't.
It
It was for a
hooking you
physical.
up?
It was one of those like my insurance
They're not
company
built
sent me
for
there,
this.
so it wasn't
How
exactly.
many
like,
tubes did they need?
A lot. They took
Like
a lot.
6 tubes?
Yeah, it was a ton. She was there for fucking ever. I think they took half my blood out of my body. I'm not quite sure.
Probably if you hadn't had any water.
Yeah, and so literally I was like, I don't know, I'm just feeling a little weird. And she goes, okay, put your head down. And the last thing I remember
Nope.
feeling was her like hand kind of here, like she put a cold press in the back of my neck.
Yeah.
And then you passed out?
and then I just kind of woke up like freaked out. It was one of those instances where you jump awake
Yeah.
because you have no idea what happened.
Yeah.
And I just heard someone telling me, and I thought it was a dream at first. Like, sir, relax, like sit down, because I woke up and I stood up, like, what the fuck is going on with
You
me
started
right now?
shadow
Where were
boxing.
you?
No, it wasn't even. I was in the chair, still in the chair.
Oh,
I
I
totally
thought
passed
you
out.
had maybe fallen off.
No.
the
They
chair or
had this
something.
little bar, and I had passed out, and I was like, what am I sitting in? And I passed out, and all the water that I'd crammed down my throat,
Yeah.
just
Oh, you
totally
threw it
threw up
up?
all over
Oh,
myself.
wow.
Yeah, and she was trying to get a bin. She had like rushed out to grab a bin because she saw me passing out, and then she's like, the next thing that she knew was going to happen was that I was just going to vomit, and I just
I
threw
didn't know
up.
that happens after you pass out.
Oh my god! I mean, I didn't know it either, but apparently my body.
I do now.
My body was like, you have to get out of your system whatever is in your system. I don't know why. Maybe it was preparing me for death. But she
Everything
turned off the
evacuates.
lights because the fluorescent lights were bothering my eyes.
Yeah.
And she made me lay down. And she's like, I'm sorry, I have to make you lay down. Like, you have to lay down for the next like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And I started feeling better. And I'm like, do you have any food? She's like, no.
Did they banana bag you?
And I was like, do you have anything? And like, can you give me some more? She brought me some more water, which was very nice. And then eventually she's like, you know what? And she went and grabbed her lunch and brought me like
wow.
stuff from her lunch.
Oh
was
my
like, you need to
God.
eat something.
And you're like, I don't do carbs.
Well, that was
Can
the
you get-
other
can you
problem
get- can you
too. I
get
think
some-
was that
can I get a hard-boiled egg and a
Can I get some
spoonful
Can I
of
just get
mayonnaise
some,
on
Yeah.
a bed of turkey?
Some roast beef
And I
slices,
felt-
please.
Oh,
That's what he
man.
ate today. He had a fucking.
Well, no, to be fair, I'm on carbs. I'm back on carbs. But the reason I ate that was because we're leaving for Vegas. I didn't grocery shop. I'm like, screw it, I'll just eat whatever's in my fridge.
Sure.
But it sucked. It was so embarrassing too because when I walked into the place, there was no one there.
Yeah.
Because I was taking so long, they were backed up, and I walked out totally pale, totally looking like shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there was like 15 people.
Fuck them. That's their own
Yeah.
fault.
Like,
They should have.
no.
They shouldn't let you draw
They
their
weren't
blood.
mad. They literally every single person saw me and was like,
Time to find a new doctor.
"All right, man. Like,
Yeah,
you
trying
gonna
to
be
find
okay?"
a doctor with a cookie at the end of your blood
it was
draw.
bad. It was bad. And then I had to go home, and I was late here because I had to go home and I just like curled into a ball in bed, and my body was just like in
Oof,
total
that's
shock.
terrible.
It was
dude.
bad.
And that took days. You said to get
It took a
feel
couple
normal?
days. Yeah, it took about
Wow.
2-3 days before I
They
wasn't
really should have
woozy.
given you a banana bag or something.
I know. I don't know what a banana bag is, but I want
It's
one.
just hydration, like what kind of like saline.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it just has basically like
It's an
some
IV drip that
vitamins
gets you
and-
back
yeah.
on your feet.
That would've been
They do
nice.
that in Vegas in the little car that drives
Yeah.
around.
They do. That's
We
awesome.
get banana bags tomorrow after the strip club.
We should do that tomorrow. We should just go get one tomorrow.
As
'Cause
soon
we're
as we
all
get off the
feeling
plane?
They
I just do it.
have. I think there are places
There's
in
places in the
Vegas
airport.
where you can just go and you can get like a vitamin drip or something.
Yeah.
You can be like, I want a B12 not a shot, but it was a drip.
Get all these sick kids in. Get them all on the
Yeah.
We should absolutely do that.
You
That'd
should
be a
do
good
that.
idea
Be
for
like,
it.
where's all the vitamin C that you have? Pump it into these people, please.
These kids got the PAX plague. What do you got for them?
Yeah.
The PAX plague.
PAX plague.
They're like this. Oh, we have that. We know that.
Wash your hands and you'll avoid the PAX plague and the Comic-Con plague
Yeah.
and everything else.
It's true.
It won't help you with your
Don't
blood.
half-ass wash your hands either.
I have a happy story
Sing
from being
happy
sick.
birthday.
Okay.
I'll tell it to you right now, just
Good.
real quickly.
Please.
My
No, I wasn't
my
trying-
mom.
I'm prepping.
I was
but
sick over Christmas one time. This is when I was in college, and my mom came home with her like a new dog.
Oh wow,
And
that's
the
a great
dog was
sick
like a
story.
little tiny puppy, and they were like, "Hey, we have to go do all the stuff because it was like Christmas time, so they had to go like my aunt's house and stuff like that." So for like a week straight, I was I'm like, I can't fucking move. It was me and this dog that was just sleeping on my chest, and I'm talking
my
like
God.
a little rat terrier that's like this big.
Did you get to keep it?
Yeah, it was our
Okay.
it was our
Well, I
dog.
didn't know.
Max.
The story
Yeah.
is set up weird.
Oh no, yeah, my mom totally was like, "Hey, I got a brand new dog."
Did you
and
not
like-
have to take the dog outside or anything? Because that seems like that'd
Yeah,
be
I
weird.
did occasionally.
did you?
But you
Or
weren't
did
that
you?
sick. You
But I
weren't that
would
sick.
get up and crack the door for him. He would go outside, and I would watch him, and then come back, and he would be
See
like,
a
"We're
hawk
doing this
come
thing," and I'd be
down,
like,
grab
"We're doing
him.
this thing," and I would just lay down and he would just
That's
jump
really
back
good.
on here.
That's
and
really
I'd
good.
just
That
watch
sounds-
watch Ghostbusters with a brand new dog on your chest. It was
Yeah.
great. I'd fall asleep. I'd wake up, and he was like, "I'm still sleeping. Whenever you're ready, I'll get up."
Hey, whenever
Whatever you
you're up
wanna
for
do."
something, we can do something.
That
But
was
until
really
That's the
then,
nice thing
no.
about like Portillo doesn't really snuggle with me when I'm sick.
Yeah, he does.
He-
Look at him
He's
snuggle
not
right now.
that great with you.
He snuggles, I'm sure, with you too.
He doesn't snuggle that much. Like,
If I'm
not,
here.
it's not as satisfying as I would hope
Okay.
for
okay.
a snuggle. Like
okay.
he's usually a very snuggly dog.
Yeah.
But more so with you than with me.
Sure.
So yeah, whenever I'm ill, I'm always like Portillo.
Care about
come
me.
Here.
I need
come,
you.
Come snuggle with me. And he's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be on the floor in the sunny spot of the floor, please.
Right,
So,
right. I gotta go
You
over
used to
my
get sick
belly.
a lot
See
more,
you
it
later.
felt like. You've gotten better about it.
That was, like I was saying, I got stomach sick a lot. I'm better about that now. I just eat a little better. I think
Yeah.
it was just a lot of, I don't know, and also stress and all those fun things can impact your tummy. So,
Can
but it was
indeed.
I don't get like flu sick a lot,
Gotcha.
and when I do, I go basically run and ingest all the vitamin C that I can.
Gotcha.
And then
Yeah, that's
I
one
take
thing with these-
NyQuil, and then I pass out.
I'm good about it. But like I'm more worried about the car ride tomorrow with these sickies.
We're gonna get sick, you and I. We just gotta get through Vegas.
No, because that's not how it works. It doesn't like
I
They're not
really
gonna
do think you should
breathe
go to some of these like drip
microbies.
bars.
I would totally do it.
I'll do it.
Go.
All right. Check out my Instagram right now and see if we went to the Banana Bag Bar or
That'd
if
be
we just went
hilarious.
to the Banana Bag Strip Club. Nick,
Yes.
time for another topic. You ready?
All right. Love it.
This one comes from patreon.com/kindafunny, where Tack Track is carrying the load for us, gave us some money, and let us pick, or he picked a topic for us. His topic for us is movies. I'd like a personal top 5 favorite movie list from each of you. I would also like to know what your favorite movie quote is from each of those movies.
Jesus.
Now, that's crazy enough.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, that's really hard.
Here's the next part of his thing, which we aren't going to do, Tack Track, you son of a bitch. Finally, I want you to have a 5-minute conversation with each other going around the table with only 2 rules. You must speak only in movie quotes, and you must try to impersonate the actor/actress's voice you are quoting. Don't research the movie quotes. Just spit them out as they come to mind. You're a sadistic son of a bitch, Tack
You know,
Track.
That's
what's funny is
pretty
that,
hardcore.
and you've been with my family. Like we don't speak only in movie quotes, but we interject movie quotes a lot.
All the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Big fat Greek
Big Fat
wedding.
Greek Wedding. There's a lot of other ones, random ones, and I'll do it a lot with things that don't really make any sense. Like we'll be going somewhere, I'll be like, "Follow the collie," and he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And I'm like, "101 Dalmatians," and
see.
he's like, and so I just do random shit. I don't know why, but
I do.
But trying to have a whole conversation like that.
You develop that sort of back and forth with your significant other too, and I have that with my wife, where every once in a while she'll be like, "Just keep swimming," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, what the hell's that from again?" She's like, "Finding Nemo." And I was like, "Oh right," and so we say that every once in a while to each other. 5, huh?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
writing mine
5.
down. 'cause
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
how
say I
think.
gotta write mine down too. There's
I already
no way
know my
can-
number one. It's Labyrinth.
See, I think number 1's easy for everybody. So Labyrinth, why Labyrinth?
Because it's the greatest movie. And there's great songs. There's David Bowie's massive
Beautiful crotch.
God, that dick was so big.
Dead dick.
There's
He was all
Jennifer
dick. He was just
Connelly,
all
like,
dick. You know what I mean?
beautiful
Yeah.
young Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, she was so gorgeous. She still is beautiful.
She still is, yeah.
Still gorgeous.
But she was like 14 in that movie.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
really
she had the
young.
unibrow, which was amazing.
She still has really nice big bushy brows, which
Yeah, she
I
does.
like
Big
a lot.
mushy
does.
beard.
I mean, it was one of the first. What's bizarre to me is that I wasn't afraid of this movie as a child, which I feel like a lot of people were. But but I just loved it, and I've owned it on every single medium that has come out on, with the exception of Laserdisc. Or somebody said that once. They're like, well, "Did you own it on Laserdisc?" I'm like, nobody had a Laserdisc.
Yeah.
But I had it on like those little tapes. Like I don't even know what the format was. You know,
Betas?
UMDs.
like
You mean Betamax?
Universal Media
sure,
Discs.
maybe.
Wait, what year is this? Do you think?
I don't know. I was really young. Like I was born in '85.
Okay.
It's
So
got
if you're like
that.
85, 86, 87.
It was probably like early '90s.
Yeah, could have been. It wasn't Beta. It might have been Betamax. It might have been Beta because there was Beta and VHS were the two popular mediums. Formats in the 80s. And if it wasn't disc based, it was probably one of those. If I had to imagine.
Yeah. So maybe it was that, and then because I just remember like a tiny tape.
Yeah, betas were like this big. They were like that big. And what's hilarious is VHSs were like comparisons like this. Betas were like this big, and they held more and were a higher quality.
Weren't they
which was funny.
cheaper too?
They were better 100%. And I think I don't know my history as well as I should in the subject, but I think what had driven it was that the porn industry adopted VHS, and then that basically because Beta is Sony. And Sony, Sony's format, that was their proprietary format. And,
Yeah.
they're
Should've
always
gotten
trying
the
to
porn
push
stars
it.
on board.
Yeah.
I don't know how that worked out, but I guess VHS it just got picked up and that was it, and it killed Beta.
Yeah.
They still use Beta. I mean, up until maybe like 10 years ago, Betas were still very prevalent in professional use because it was just a good tape format. But then HD came around and they got wiped out because they were standard definition. What was the movie you were just talking about though?
Labyrinth.
Okay.
And I can't
Yeah, it would've been
remember
Beta then.
if it was that or if we like illegally not downloaded it, but
Bootlegged
recorded it while it was on TV one
Sure.
day.
Well,
I
that's
don't
not
know.
illegal.
I guess not illegal because we didn't distribute it. But I can't remember if it was like one of that or anyways.
Oh, you mean like you taped it off a TV
Yeah,
like we used to
I
do?
can't
I had
remember.
I used to have VHS. You hit like slow play or long play, whatever it was.
Yeah,
and you would have
yeah.
like 5 movies, and you'd have to write them all in the logo.
Give me EP or whatever.
Yeah,
and
EP.
it was like 8 hours, and it was just like fucking through sand.
It was like you're like, I think that's Bill Murray. Yeah, I had like you, and then I would always, when I was a kid, I was just such a fucking like, I don't know why I would do this, but I would try to draw the logo on the.
Oh, nice,
It was
yeah.
Ghostbusters. It would be the
Sure,
like,
yeah. No Ghost logo, yeah,
logo.
But-
It never worked out.
So I was at PAX this weekend and I got to have lunch with Laura Bailey.
We know her.
And
Name dropping.
oh yes, but this is why I love her to death and why we're friends. So you know how I will randomly just say a movie quote.
Sure.
I'm not trying to I don't know, it just happens. So I can't remember what it was, but I said something from Labyrinth just like offhand, and she followed up, didn't miss a beat, with
What
like
did you
the
say?
next quote.
This can be your
afterwards.
quote. You can fix your quote.
But
right
I can't remember what line. I just remember looking at her and being like, "I love you so much. I want to make out with your face right now."
now. Did you do it?
Did you do it?
Did you film it?
Laura's hot.
No, I didn't. I didn't do that.
Her husband's big. Don't say stuff like that.
I know. I met him.
He can kick your ass.
He's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
You punch through every one
He's
of these
such a
walls.
nice guy, though.
I know. He's super nice. They all are. That's the problem with that whole voice actor clique they have is that they're all super nice. They don't do anything for you. They're a bunch of monsters.
Yeah, we played hard at Comic-Con.
I'm finding it hard to put a fourth in.
I've got
I
it.
have 1, 2, 3.
Look,
I left
here's
4
what you
blank.
need to do. You can't pick a top 5 list like this. Just pick 5 movies that you love.
5, and then
That's
don't
it.
rank them.
Yeah, everyone always asks me, especially me. They're like, "Oh, what's your top 5 movies all the time?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. It changes.
Oh, so you just rattle them off the top of your head?
I just 5 movies that I know I love that I've seen a billion times that I have quotes for.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah, the quote thing.
That's what I always do. And
I
also,
like Stardust a lot.
Stardust.
It's just a great movie.
Yeah, that was actually a really good movie. That kind of flew under the radar.
Yeah.
And I watched it one day, I think on HBO, and I was like, "Why is this so good?"
Really
Doesn't
good.
have any. And then I was like, "Oh, it's Neil Gaiman. Gaiman? Is it Gaiman?
Gaiman.
Neil-
Gaiman.
Is it Gaiman?
I don't know.
Sandman.
Yes,
Yeah,
he did
Sandman.
Sandman. He did a lot of stuff.
What's your so what? How do you want to do this? You want to give me all 5, or you want to give me your one, or
You want to go back and forth?
Sure.
Do you want?
Okay. My number 1 is 1989 Batman.
I watched that again for the first time as an adult when I was
need to
in
watch
LA. It was so good.
It's
you know what I
good.
mean? It was really, really good. And I did I talk to you about this or Tim about Taylor Swift?
I think you were talking to me about it, actually.
I don't know. I couldn't figure out a way in a tweet to do it without sounding like I was insulting anybody, so I just didn't. But Kim
all you have to say-
Basinger
oh.
in 1989
Oh, yeah, you were talking
Batman
about this.
looks so much like Taylor Swift
Yeah,
that
yeah.
either we need to go back in time and get Kim Basinger in 1989 to play Taylor Swift in whatever biopic she does, or get Taylor Swift to play Kim Basinger in the Kim Basinger movie.
Oh, that could work.
Because I'm telling you, man, like it was, and like the performances were great. It was I hadn't seen that movie as an adult. Period.
I haven't seen it as an adult.
Yeah, see, I always liked to Tim about it, and he's like, "It's really campy." I'm like, "Go back and watch it again because it's kind of twisted. It's got a very distinct style to it, and I think a lot of people remember it more in line with the Adam West series than in line with the Nolan series." And I'm like,
Interesting, yeah.
"No, it's not. It was
It was the start of that. It was what really
Yeah.
established Batman
really
as like
did.
he's gonna be a dark motherfucker.
Because I remember I mean, I don't remember a lot, but I do remember thinking it was goofy for some reason.
Because it was goofy.
I mean, Jokers and stuff. Like the whole art scene is like goofy, but it's fun. It doesn't feel campy and shit.
It's twisted. Like if you remember, and this is what everyone's always like, oh, it's campy. I'm like, until he sits down. Then it's really fucked up because he brings over the girl who he's killed with.
He's
like,
made art.
Made art with her. He burned half her face away, and it's like freaky. And then you're like, I need to get her out of the. She needs to get out of the situation.
Oh, okay.
It was Mick Jagger's ex-wife, I think, is the actress. I can't remember. Yeah. Anyway, so my line for that movie is "This town needs an enema," which is a famous line from Jack Nicholson. This town needs an enema. He was fantastic in that. Greg, what's your number one?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
come on,
that's on my list too.
Yeah.
That's got to be top 5 on my. That actually is legitimately top 5. What's your quote from it?
Nobody steps on a church in my town.
I was like,
1, 2, 3, roast them.
My favorite interaction from that movie is always when the guy, they're sitting there waiting to go up the elevator, and the guy's like, "What are you, some sort of cosmonaut?" He's like, "What is
somebody
he?"
saw a cockroach. We're exterminators. Somebody saw a cockroach up on 12.
Yeah, he's like,
must be some cockroach. Bite
your
head off,
man. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. The Ghostbusters, I was so obsessed with it. I remember that was one of the ones because I had gotten in trouble once with playing in the front yard with Dad, where I hid behind a tree and yelled, "You bastard." Based on Back to the Future, not understanding what the word was, but understanding the context. Like, don't say that word. So I remember Ghostbusters on one of my 15,000 times of seeing it, having to go and my mom be like, "Mom, can I call somebody a puss bucket?" She's like, "Yeah, that's okay."
She's like, "I don't give a shit about that."
Works out well.
Yeah. You learn from your mistakes, Nick.
And from your parents.
Yeah. Kristine, what's your next one on your list here?
I already said Stardust.
Sorry, Stardust. All right,
I don't know. I'm just picking movies.
Yeah, no, that's what I did for my fourth. Is I just one that was on the list that I wanted to. I was like, okay, cool. I don't know if that's like my definitive fourth movie of all time.
I'm just thinking of movies that I bought / kept held on.
What we still have out there.
Because Stardust is not a movie that typically comes on that often, and sometimes I want to watch it.
Yeah. That's the thing. I was like, my number 1 and 2 are locks that have been forever. So Ghostbusters, of course, and number 2 is Mallrats. Mallrats was, and it's one of those things that I don't understand. There's no way to explain to somebody who would watch it now.
Sure,
but you have to understand that like being a comic book fan was so isolating back. You're so isolated as a comic book fan back then that and not only back then being like that, I could only talk to people at the comic shop about the comics. Like my friends didn't read comics. You know what I mean? Like going to Comic-Con was just becoming a thing. And I mean like Chicago Comic-Con, not real Comic-Con. So to have it on, I missed it in the big screen because it was marketed so poorly. But when
I don't think it was marketed at all.
Exactly. Well, I know I had a comic book with an ad on the back, but you had no idea what the movie was.
Right.
And so then when you get it and I'm watching and they're having conversations about how sex would work with Superman and Lois and making Wolverine references and Stan Lee's in this movie, and it's just like, holy shit, like this is the movie. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is the fucking movie for who I am and everything else. Yeah.
What's your quote from it? But and technically, Do or Do Not, There Is No Try is not from Mallrats. I'm sorry to say.
I wouldn't say that. You know that. Oh man, I always like the. I don't want now. I'm of the thing. Oh, fuck! I don't want to fuck up the quote. You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter. I fucked up my quote.
I love it. I always loved the point when they're at the flea market and Brody's paging through the comics and he yells at the lady. These should have boards. Savages.
I haven't done quotes for either of my movies.
It's fine.
Do you have one for Stardust? I can't remember anything from Stardust.
Oh, Stardust! It's a thing falling.
Stardust. If they could.
There are some good quotes in there. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. Labyrinth, I quote almost the entire movie, so it's hard to pick a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But
you always talk about that bog of eternal stench.
The bog of eternal stench is fun, but it's really random. There's a point where they're in the oubliette and they're trying to get out, and a ball, like Jareth's ball, rolls by, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Because now they know it's him, and they come over, but he's in like this hobo costume, like hobo goblin costume, and he's like, what have we here? And then they're like, "Oh, nothing's happening," and he's like, "Nothing, tra la la," and then he gets up and he like throws his cloak down, and I really like that.
I gotta go back and watch Labyrinth. For some reason Labyrinth terrified me when I was a kid. That one,
it's terrifying.
It is pretty. It is really scary. Those were when they made like kids like. Movies for kids are more like Brothers Grimm fairy tales. You're like, this is kind of fucked up, and I don't think
super fucked up.
Like, this seems not of the right age for me.
Oh, Dark Crystal. It was a Dark Crystal. You
watch
that, you're like, and I'm like, where? I remember actually watching that movie and thinking, where is my mom and why is she letting me watch this movie?
Yeah.
I needed an out, but I didn't get one. Terrified me. Yeah. What'd you write down?
I started writing down quotes. So I wouldn't be like searching when you ask me.
Okay, go for it.
What's your 2? Did you do 2?
Number 2, Die Hard. It's one of the most iconic quotes in the movie, obviously, is when he's crawling through the air duct and he takes a moment for himself to be sarcastic. It's very telling of his character, and it's amazing. He's got the lighter and he's like, come out to the coast, we'll get together, we'll have a few laughs. Like, why the fuck did I agree to do this, right? Like, why am I in this situation? But it's that perfect quintessential Bruce Willis look where he's just in the middle of hell, but he's taking a second just to laugh at the stupidity of his situation. Like, he laughed at himself, really. And I love that. I love that quote.
All right, so my third one here, and I went back and forth, and I keep crossing it out. But I'm gonna say Superman.
Okay, which Superman?
I was thinking
Donner?
Superman 2, and that's what I kept going back and forth. Of course, Donner. I'm not crazy. But that's the argument. Was it Superman 1 or is it Superman 2?
Sure.
And Superman 1 is just such a great origin story. You know what I mean? Like just like that's a movie you watch that still holds up with like moments. I feel like, and the one I picked I think is the best moment in the movie when it's a helicopter tumbles off. Lois is falling from it. He grabs Lois, grabs it. Don't worry, and he's like, "Don't worry, I got you." And she goes, "Who's got? You've got me. Who's got you?" Like that scene still is perfect. Such a perfect fucking scene.
Because it was the build up. It was like skunkaran.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you've been waiting.
Skunkaran. Right, and the thing's like falling off and everything. It's that Rube Goldberg like chaos fucking machine that's happening. You're like, whoa, and it's actually a beautiful scene for tension, right? Yeah. Because you're like, that thing's gonna fall. She's gonna fall out. It's all gonna happen, and then there's nothing that can fix this. There's nothing that can save this. Oh wait, who is this guy? And it's the perfect way.
And
to
that's the thing too. Is like that's the first time you see him. That's his reveal, and that's so deep in that movie because you're on Krypton forever, you're in Smallville forever, and then you're like finally fucking in Metropolis with him in the fucking suit, the blue blazer, and everything.
At some point, you're gonna have to watch these movies with me.
Okay, have you not watched them recently or ever? Or?
I love all of them.
I don't know if I've ever watched them.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that scene.
That one's really,
I feel like I know that
That's
line.
the thing. So much of it's
I'm sure it's just
1 and 2 are good.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
3
is
no
weird as shit, and 4 you're like,
is
what?
like
What's
Spider-Man 3 bad?
No. 4 is 4 is worse than Spider-Man 3, but Superman 3 gets a bad rap. It's a comedy and it's this weird thing, and it's got
Richard Pryor.
Thank you. I was going to say Richard Dreyfuss. That's not right. Very starkly different people.
That would be hilariously different. Yeah.
But it's like it's not terrible. It's weird for sure. You know what I mean? But it's like it's somewhat fun.
You know, it actually wasn't bad until the sort of the anti-Superman part.
Yeah, that was kind of cool because like he had to fight somebody other than the computer.
Yeah, but like,
which is how that movie ends.
Yeah,
him fighting a computer.
That was weird, man.
Zoolander.
I've got one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a Schwarzenegger film. It's called Predator.
I've heard of it,
and it's probably the most quoted movie of Schwarzenegger's work. True. For one scene when he walks into the idea behind Predator is that it's they're a team of like mercenaries
is that the one
working
with the tentacle man.
Yeah, he looks like he's got dreads.
He's got dreads, and he's got the weird.
But it's a team of like crack soldiers that get called by the U.S. military to go in. They're basically a military. I think they're
Black Ops.
I think they're Black Ops. Yeah, they work for the military and they have to come in and go to like a South American country to rescue some people that have crashed there. And he goes in and there's a guy from the CIA there played by Carl Weathers, and everyone in this movie is jacked up.
I just remember the movie.
And of course the famous quote is when he's like, "Dylan, you son of a bitch." And they slap arms together, and the biceps of these men, these two beautiful men who have just done carts of steroids in their life. And he goes, and they do the arm wrestling. He's like, "You've been pushing too many pencils." And because it's awesome. Yeah. I love that. I love that part of the movie. And then the rest of it is just amazingly cool. Great film. Another McTiernan film.
Kristine, what did you remember?
I remembered how much I love When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, that is a good movie.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's just. I watch that movie at least once a year.
Oh, I think I do too, actually. I love the scene. I mean, the famous scene. I'll have what she's having.
Yeah. That's
so
a great one.
Yeah, there's so many good lines in there.
There's a lot of great. It's funny because you go back. I saw it when I was a kid, and I was like, "This is a really good movie. This is really fun, and I like these characters." You watch it when you're an adult, and you're like, "Fuck, these people. I've gone through this.
Yeah,
this is like." Mid to late 20s, like maybe they're in their 30s at this point, but like young adults dating in New York in that time period, and it's like it's spot on. It's hilarious.
That made me think of the line, "And I'm gonna be 40 soon." When? Or like no, you're not for like another 10 years. I know, but it's out there.
Yeah, but it's out
like,
there. That's so good.
Yeah.
Oh god, what else do I have on? Oh, of course, my favorite movie of all time. One of my favorite movies of all time, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Oh.
There's so many good quotes in that. I'm not going to say the obvious quote, which is the one
Bueller.
the life moves pretty fast.
Oh, yeah,
So that
yeah.
one.
Like Bueller.
I love the quote when she describes him as Abe when they're talking about Abe Froman, Sausage King of Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes, I'm gonna murder the quote right now. I'm sorry, but she's like, he's 5'8", gray jacket, devastatingly handsome.
Yeah.
he's like listening to her say it on the phone. It's awesome. I love that back and forth.
My next one I put on here.
No,
Oh, sorry.
talk
sorry,
about Ferris
sorry.
Bueller.
Oh, sorry.
Because I tweeted this out a while ago,
Yeah.
but I just want to give this a little tip to anybody who works in an office where
the
people
tip.
might ignore your emails. What I always do to get a response is if I send an email, send the follow up. If they still haven't responded within a reasonable amount of time, a few days, I send back Bueller. Gets a response every time.
Yep.
Everybody
Pro
appreciates
tip.
it.
Pro tip. My fourth one, and this is the one that you were like, clear your mind and put one in there. I put in Roadhouse.
Oh, fucking A.
That
Fucking
movie.
love
Oh my
Roadhouse.
God! Did he just?
He did just fart.
Oh, that is fucking awful.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. That is like a stink bomb.
How does that dog make that smell?
Oh my God.
It is bad. It's quite pungent.
really
I won't lie.
I can't get away from it.
Oh my God. We need a fan. Help us, God. Oh no.
Well, all right,
Oh,
Portillo.
God.
There's pros and cons to you. You're like Kevin.
He's a smell amplifier.
Oh my God.
Oh,
That is
that woke me up.
pungent.
My eyes.
Bog of eternal stench.
There it
right
is.
There.
Oh,
You guys are on the business end.
Oh.
my eyes are watering.
Roadhouse.
It's good. It's fine.
Roadhouse is a
yeah.
fantastic
Oh,
film.
God. The double deuce.
Yeah, the double dude.
God, that's so good.
Also features a Mizzou sweatshirt in it, which I'm a big fan of. One of the guys because
makes
it
sense.
takes place in Missouri.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it does take
That's
place
awesome.
in Missouri. Yeah, where there are no rules and you can drive your monster truck through another auto dealership and there is no repercussions.
No repercussions.
That's
You can
'cause he
also
owned that
you,
town.
He
You
did
can
own that
also
town.
murder like 7 people in a house and there's
Yeah.
no repercussions.
Yeah.
like,
And
I didn't see
everyone's like,
anything.
this guy owns this town. There's nothing we can do. You can call the FBI. You can call another
You can
police
call
station.
literally
You can call
any
literally
other
anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone you know and be like, this guy is on a murder spree and the FBI would come down.
But that's
probably
what
just
like
arrest
why
him.
Roadhouse works is like it's just in that same 80s action movie of just like nonsense. You know what I mean? It's like a different kind of nonsense than Predator for sure. But it's just like such a fun nonsense of just like Dalton is just fucking brought to town all the time to fucking clean up these bars and just snap the staff into. It's like, what are you talking about? Like, how is any of this working? It's great.
Oh, I know.
And the quote, of course, is "I thought you'd be bigger," because that's just great. That like he's 7 different times in that movie. Somebody's like, "I thought you'd be bigger."
Yeah. Because he's like this
for his line of
You
work.
get the
person.
opposite line.
I thought you'd be
I
smaller.
thought you'd be
everyone's
smaller.
like, I can't
and
believe
it was
you're
like,
that
why
tall.
are you so big?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and Patrick Swayze, man. This is I watched it recently with her because she had never seen it, and that's when I was telling you like he should have been they should have given him a Batman role at some point.
Yeah, I
He
can
was
totally
too
see that.
small.
I
though,
know,
I
but that
guess-
would have been a great interpretation of the character. You
I
know
don't
what I
think
mean?
so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
because
was a
I feel
fucking
like in
badass.
cinematography, it's really easy to fake that.
Well, they did it with Michael Keaton. He's not
Yeah,
that tall.
exactly.
You put him in big boots. He
Some Tom Cruise heels.
God, he had a great career though. He did. He did
Oh, yeah.
like from like the mid. He owned the '80s first of all. Like from mid to late '80s,
Dirty
he owned
Dancing's
that.
a
Dirty
great
Dancing,
movie.
Ghost. The Ghost was like, I'm like talking about crying at the end of a film. Jesus Christ. And then of course one of my all-time favorite movies, Point Break, where he did it with a young Keanu Reeves.
See, that's a great one.
And that
I
is the
haven't seen
most.
that.
So,
That's a
oh
really
my
good
god,
movie.
it's so quotable. Are you kidding me?
I
I'm
was-
not. I'm not going to go for the obvious. Here's the quote. My favorite quote
What's
on that.
the
He's
obvious?
like,
Is the one who he's yelling at him? 'Cause
no,
that's what's
yeah,
coming
it's
to
the one where
mind.
he's yelling. He's like, and he says something. He says something to the extent of it's John C. McGinley, the head of the FBI, or the FBI director. He's like, I guess it must have been asshole day. So, or there's no maybe. That's what he says. He says something to the extent of there must have been a shortage of assholes at the FBI today, right? He walks away, and Keanu Reeves is like, not so far. Did he fart again?
He did.
This though's throwing me off. My
sure?
God.
A little bit. Or maybe it was just like a
No, he did.
aftershock.
He pushed
Aftershock
a
fart.
little bit more out. There's a little more. Oh,
Run,
that
bar,
movie's so
time waits
amazing.
to go outside.
They call him Bodie. The boat of Zypha. That's from Point Break.
Okay, I haven't
little
seen
special.
Point Break as an adult. I need to go back.
You're
and
gonna
watch
love
that
it.
too.
Watch
It's
it.
beautifully directed.
Okay,
It's Catherine Bigelow. It's good.
who's that?
Did Hurt Locker.
Oh, okay.
Did Strange Days. Yeah. It's awesome.
Gotcha. Kristine, what do you need to add out there?
I'm trying to pick a Disney film,
Oh.
and it's kind of hard. I really love Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, and
Just
Little
put
Mermaid.
Avengers and be
Those are
done
my
with it.
3. Those are my top 3 Disneys, and I'm gonna stick them in as number whatever this is.
Lion King.
Lion King's
Some
great.
great
He
films,
doesn't
some
like.
great-
He doesn't like Lion King.
I don't like Disney films. Yeah, I'm not a big fan.
Yeah. I can see that. I can see you not liking Disney. films.
Hakuna,
But,
give me my ticket money back. Am I right?
For Lion King, my favorite part was
It's a problem free philosophy on that one. Give me my ticket money back.
but at the end of the movie where Zazu's in a cage, and then like Timon and Pumbaa are running in or whatever, and then somebody comes in basically and is like, "Let me out, let me out!" And they're like, "Let me in, let me in!"
Yeah,
like
let me
they
in, let
want
me
to
in.
get into the cage.
That's
so that-
awesome.
That's funny.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. That was memorable. Oh man.
My final movie
Ooh.
here on the list. You can go.
Sorry, no, I'm
No,
just
please. There's really
and then
no
I'm
order.
adding Aladdin to that just because Robin Williams' genie was so good.
See, that was a good one. I liked Aladdin.
Yeah.
Yeah. My final one is Return of the Living Dead. Now I had Dawn of the Dead on here,
Okay.
Ramiro. I had Night of the Living Dead on here, but I'm putting Return of the Living Dead because it's most quotable. It's also a crazy film. It turns all the stuff on their head. You remember this one?
No.
Did you ever watch this one?
Which one was it? I'll
This
get
is
all
the
the
one
dead
Rosenbaum
films
and I
confused.
geeked out about when he was
Okay.
on, right? Of like the zombies, like you can't kill them basically. You can chop them up in little bits, and little bits come after you and stuff like that.
That sucks.
Like hands and stuff, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
in some sensical fashion or whatever. But the zombies can talk, they can think, they can do all this different stuff.
Was this the more recent one?
No.
Because there was one that came out where they were like in a fortress in the future and like zombies were outside and we were living inside totally fine.
Oh, you're thinking of
was
the
like
other. This
Dennis
isn't a
Hopper
Ramiro
or
film. This
something.
isn't a
Okay.
Ramiro film. You're thinking of fuck. He did
Living-
Diary of the Dead next, then he
Batman and the Living Dead.
Land of the Dead, Land of the Dead,
that's
Land
what
of the
it was.
Dead. Yeah, with John Leguizamo and I can picture him. He was Bowser in the Mario Brothers movie. He was
Dennis
in
Hopper.
Apocalypse Now. Dennis Hopper.
Yeah.
You're like, I went to Mario instead of Apocalypse
Now
Now.
I
Not a problem. Actually, that's perfect.
All
That's
of the
that one.
Ramiro movies, I didn't even like Day that much. Like a lot of people like Day of the Dead, but I thought after Dawn of the Dead, they all kind of just were like, niche, no thanks.
Yeah, I liked the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
The remake of the Dawn of the Dead was awesome, written
that was
by
cool.
James Gunn.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, was it Zack Snyder who did it?
I think Zack
Directed
Snyder directed it. Yeah.
And then the quote from that one is "Send more paramedics." When the zombie gets on the phone because they've eaten all the paramedics they sent,
Oh.
he gets on the little thing when they're asking like, "What the hell's going on?" It says, "Send more paramedics."
Interesting. That's awesome.
Send more paramedics.
I was thinking, going back to your original thought with Taylor Swift,
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to really get her attention, the best, and I'm sure she's never heard this, but like the only thing better to come out in 1989 than Batman was Taylor Swift.
Oh.
That's a good shirt. We
that?
can do that when we're
That
trying to
is
get her
good,
for
that is
something.
good.
It's not bad.
Okay, is everybody done?
What's your last movie? No, I haven't.
I think I went through mine. Well, I got the only other
or
movie
maybe
I
I
had on my list
miscounted, but I
was.
don't really know.
Yeah, we kind of got lost there at the end. You put in 15.
I'm gonna
Disney
toss
movies.
in Birdcage
I did.
because that
Oh,
again
Nathan
made me
Lane.
think
Yeah,
Nathan
yeah.
Lane and Robin Williams. Close to Flockhart's in that movie too.
Really?
Is
Yeah.
that movie, yeah.
She's the girlfriend.
Oh, I don't recall that at all.
And then Hank Azaria, who is fucking brilliant as the butler.
Yeah.
Like, there's just so much. I really like, as you can tell, like funny movies. Like,
Hank
I don't really
Azaria
like
was awesome
heavy
in that.
shit.
Hank Azaria is a guy that's had a
I
phenomenal
never
career.
wear shoes because they make me fall down.
Oh God, no! What was the other thing that?
I mean, there's so much.
Oh, there's so many good quotes from him. He's just a phenomenal guy. You've seen him in everything. Everyone kind of knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's not like a huge celebrity, but he's definitely like noticeable.
He's like every
makes Simpsons money,
voice on the
too.
Simpsons.
Yeah, so I was
yeah.
gonna
yeah, he's got that Simpsons money. He was
do
just
whatever he
in.
wants.
I think he was just in Ray Donovan. I think is where I saw him again. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah,
He's-
point his
he's
butt that
awesome.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everybody.
just stick his butt out.
Your
the
butt,
window a
the
little
butt
bit.
juice ain't escaping here.
It's true.
It's all stuck here. You're all stuck here with the smells.
It's all spades.
All right, so now is everybody done?
I'm done.
Do we do our
Yeah,
top fives?
Yeah,
so.
I did. My fifth was Ghostbusters, so we already went through that.
Oh, okay, good. Well, thank you, Tack Track, as always, for your support. Or do you have a Ghostbusters quote you want to toss in?
No, the bite your head off, man. I think was the best. That's one I always say. I find myself always defaulting.
The
to
mass
like,
hysteria comes up all the time, too. A lot of people will fit that in.
dogs and cats living together.
Mass hysteria.
I also say, and this is another one. You just have all those quotes that you just kind of integrate in your normal life. I don't know why, but I always say, goes to the Gozerian. Good evening. I just say that to myself all the time.
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
good one. Next topic comes from patreon.com/kinda funny. We're busting out. Since this is a different show, I thought I'd go through and get a whole bunch of people's done here. Kenny Char, who also pops up on the Gamescast because he's so supportive. He submitted this topic, which is, was there anything that you deluded yourself into thinking was great, be it games, movies, music, etc., until later coming to your senses and realizing otherwise? It's happened to me several times. Most recently was the Legend of Korra video game. I pre-ordered it, played it for around 3 hours on launch, and loved it. When I woke up the next day, I discovered that it was really a flaming pile of something else. Thanks, and kinda, Kenny Char. Funny. Kenny Char.
There you go.
Also, to cross over with Kenny Char's other topic, I cut him off on that because I wanted us not to ruin what we remember. This was the one of game endings that stuck with you. I never said what his were.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Char's 2 endings from that topic on the Kind of Funny Games cast were my 2 would probably be endings for The Last of Us, which was, in fact, a great ending, and Flower, which was good, not great, but one I still think about quite frequently.
I don't even remember the end of Flower.
I won't ruin it for you, but let's just say
There are
you're
flowers.
really a tiger.
Oh.
All right, so Kenny Char, things that deluded yourself into thinking were great but weren't. I got them in spades.
Really?
The big one, of course, and I've talked about it before, so I won't beat it forever, is Superman Returns. Saw it at launch. I was followed by...
Is that the Henry Cavill one?
No, that's Man of
was
Steel.
Man of Steel.
Ralph.
Yeah, Brandon Ralph.
Oh.
Ralph, excuse me.
This is the one where I was working at the Columbia
The
Tribune.
kid that has asthma. And
Yeah. Pushes the piano. I went and saw it at the midnight launch, and I was working at the newspaper, and the newspaper sent one of our photographers who do multimedia projects to follow me to do a multimedia project about it, right? So it's like this still picture documentary, but then with audio recorded over it of me talking about it. So I'd done the whole thing like leading up to it, and then it was like coming out, giving my first reaction to it, I think I reviewed it for the paper too, if memory serves, right? Because I was going to go see it at midnight
5 out
and
of
stuff.
5 stars.
I gave it something ridiculous, maybe 4 out of 5 or something, whatever. But it was just
Go
like,
see it.
it was just so
Credit on
excited.
that
Like,
one.
you understand how long I waited for that moment, right?
Yeah.
Through the Nicolas Cage rumors, through everything else, through Kevin Smith's writing a movie. You know, like, you're like, it's finally I get this movie, and yeah, it's fucking Superman. It's awesome, and it's Bryan Singer who did X2, which was so fucking good. He won't fuck this up, and he's paying homage to Donner, which I love. He's blinking 3 and 4 out of existence. It's like, yes, he's saying all the right things. You know what I mean? And I'm watching every behind the scenes like vlog he put up before we called them vlogs, and I'm reading the comic book leading up, so I know all the backstory and stuff. And yeah, you went and saw it, and I remember in the interview I talked, I'm like, I don't know, there's something I can't express yet, but yeah, it's good, and it's blah, blah, blah. And I saw it the next day in theaters, and the next day in theaters, and I think one more time in
You
theaters.
saw it 4 times in a row?
At least, yeah. And then bought it, of course, when it came on DVD.
Jesus Christ.
Watched it over and over and over again. And I'll never forget, it was like a year and a half into owning this DVD. I'm playing it, and I'm with my girlfriend at the time. And I'm watching this movie, and I'm just like, oh, and here comes, watch how Bosworth delivers this line. She's such a terrible Lois. Look at how stiff her performance is. And I go, I hate this movie. I hate this movie. I've tricked myself. It's been years of this, and I've just discovered this movie sucks.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's way too long and bloated. Nothing happens in it. Why does Superman have a kid, and then why is there no resolution to it? And like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it the same plot as goddamn Superman 1?
Yeah.
Why can't Lex come up with a better idea?
Yeah.
He's not
Oh,
gonna.
that's smart.
Even if Superman was dead, someone's gonna come on that island and tell him you can't just own an island you made. This doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah.
How's he gonna get electricity to this island for people to come live?
Perhaps there's
Solar
a
power, buddy.
military or 18 that might be a little pissed off that you just threw out the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, that wasn't one for me. That was that. I think one of the ones for me was I kind of talked myself into liking the second Matrix movie. I was like, okay. I'm like, yeah, it was dope. That scene remember that one scene where they're fighting on top of the thing that's like really, really long, like to the point where it's like really, really long, like almost a little too long. Like actually, now that I'm thinking about it, it was
Makes
a little
sense.
too
I
long.
like that.
Yeah, and then like the cool twins that like looked really dope, but like were kind of not cool looking. And then you get to the point where you're like, oh, that was a dope scene where he. No, I didn't really like that scene either. And you just get to a place where you're like, shit.
Yeah.
And then the third one came out. I'm like, oh no, wait, yeah, the only one I like is the first one.
Yeah, that was like
That was the
everybody,
first
right?
one. My wife does this thing where, and I had to learn this early on, where she'll take a franchise that I love, and just by virtue of her watching it with me, it will make me not like it anymore because it will
Really?
ruin it for me. Yeah, and she knows that she does this, so she doesn't do it anymore. But she almost, I try to introduce her to Battlestar Galactica and Firefly, and both of those that I have, of course, love. I still love, and I'll recommend them to anyone today. They're both phenomenal series, but they're very dated. And I look at them because I'm willing to look past that because I watched them when they were happening.
Exactly.
I finished Battlestar as the last episode was like I caught up like right. Those last 2 episodes were like airing, and I was like, this is fucking awesome. But then I go to watch them with my wife, and she's like, I don't know, it's just kind of like whatever. It's not much there. And I'm like, maybe she no, she's not right. I'm like, no, fuck you. You gotta go home. You gotta go to the other room. But she ruined. I learned that with Psych too. I was watching Psych with her, and she's like, this is the dumbest show. And I was like, yeah, that's why it's awesome. She's like, no, that's why it's dumb. And I'm like, leave this room.
Yeah,
just
just
leave
get outta
this
here.
room.
Don't make me think about this. I don't want to think about these things.
Yeah, she almost ruined Walking Dead.
No.
And here's what happened. I was like, God, I think I'm really getting into the show. And she sat down to watch an episode with me and was like, I don't think I like this. And I'm like, no, this is heartbreaking to me. And then she was like, whatever, I'll just read my book. And she starts reading her book, and I'm like, I bet by the end of this episode she's gonna want to watch the next one. And she did. And we went all the way current. And then she was like,
Is she still
shit.
reading that book? She still had the facade the whole time?
Oh
with
no,
the-
she put it down eventually and was
She
like,
carved
I think
eye holes in the book so she could just hold it up and watch the TV.
It went through that whole process of like she's not thinking too much about it. It was awesome, by the way. Sorry, I'm a little slow on the uptake today. But yeah, she went through the whole process of like kind of looking over, who's that? Started asking questions, and then about like 2 episodes in, she was hooked. Went back and watched all of the first and second season.
Nice.
Loved it.
It's a slow burn, man, Walking Dead. That's the thing. It's a commitment. I understand why people cannot be into it and da-da-da, but like,
I didn't
I want to
really
talk.
like
We
it.
haven't talked about Fear the Walking Dead.
I've only seen episode 1
I've
because
only
we've been
seen
traveling so
episode
much.
one,
I haven't
too.
seen any. There's 2 episodes of regular Walking Dead now, right, that are up and running, and I haven't seen.
I thought it wasn't back.
I thought it, unless I'm wrong, I thought they came back the same day, so it was Fear the Walking Dead leading into
what's
Walking
that?
Dead.
I think the Walking Dead's not back yet.
Oh, then that makes me, I'm not behind anything.
Yeah.
What?
What's Fear of the Walking Dead?
Fear the Walking Dead is the new spin-off that's the prequel to like the Walking Dead we know. It's happening in LA instead of Georgia. It's like it starts with the
Is it
regular
just brand new people, nobody in the comics?
right.
Or?
Exactly. Yeah. It's totally it's his own thing. So far, who knows if somebody will cross over eventually? But yeah, it's its own thing, and it's like the reveal in the beginning, like the first that you wouldn't know this because that's how they sold it, right? But like it picks up, and you're like, is this the apocalypse already? Has it already happened? And then the guy like runs out to run away from it, and he like runs into traffic, and it's just normal LA. And so like you're there from like this is all starting for everybody. Like how's everything?
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's real cool, and that's why episode 1 I thought was really well done. I'm like, ooh, fuck, I want to
Tim
see
told me
episode
that
2.
people panned it. They were panning it online. I'm like, why?
Guess what? I mean, like here's my problem with the
People hate everything.
Exactly, for sure. And I just don't sync up. And granted, I'm a Kirkman fanboy. It's been admitted a million times over. And like, I've just never sunk up with people's dislike of the TV show and stuff. And I just don't know if it's
Ever? You've enjoyed every.
no. And that's a broad brush, and I'm painting with it as well. You're right. But it's just like people have been saying for years that it's so stupid, nothing happens in the show, and da da da. And it's just like. But there's so much development.
So much that
and like,
happens.
look at
Even people like-
Daryl. You know what I mean? Daryl and Carol alone, just watching them. You know what I mean?
Carol.
Dude, even people that give
just
season
like that
2
they're-
Interesting.
shit.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, you just got to get through season 2.
Yeah.
I was halfway through season 2, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I can stick with the show because
Yeah.
everyone's right. Yeah, season 2 is really slow. By the end of it, I was like, holy, because there's that
Yeah.
big thing that happens in the
Yeah,
end. You're like, holy shit, I
Yeah.
get it. I just got trolled for like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
That was awesome. This is amazing. And like, what a fucking reveal. And that's what this series is going to be to me.
Yeah.
It is just going to be one kick to the dick after another, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
And, and it's all about the slow character
And
development.
that's
why
it's just for reading the comics for so long, not to be one of those guys and hipster about it. It's just like I'm used to the fact that it's like you get lulled into the false sense of security, which can feel boring. I remember when the stuff was in the prison was happening in the comics, and just being like, all right, like, are we ever gonna get out of this fucking prison? And then like 2 issues later, it's the kill them all scene, and you're like, oh my fucking god, like everything you thought that was like everything's gonna be fine was like totally fucked now. It's like that's great.
Yeah, so that's why I'm really liking that series, and Danielle liked it as well. My wife liked it as well. She was I mean, I'm hooked from the beginning because it's cool because she was like, we never got to see this, right? Because if you remember correctly, he wakes up and everything's fucked.
Yeah,
you never saw society just go down. You see,
and
it in
that's my
flashbacks
thing
here
is
and
like
there.
for me with zombie movies in particular, like the story I always find the most interesting is as it happens. I love Dawn of the Dead, James Gunn's Dawn of the Dead, or however you. Well, how do you do that? Do you say the writer or do you say the director? Seems like it's the director always gets credit.
Either. I mean,
All right,
either.
whatever.
People
the
usually say
remake
Zack
of Dawn of
Snyder's.
the Dead. I love that fucking opening. That opening is so fucking brilliant. You know what I mean? Of just Sarah Polly coming home.
know,
Well, you wouldn't watch it, yeah. But she comes home from a night of work. She's a nurse at the hospital. Things are starting to get busy, but she's like, all right, I'm done. Like, I'm leaving. She goes home to her husband. She's missed their favorite show. They have sex in the shower while this news report breaks in that they don't hear or whatever. She had talked to her the neighbor kid outside, and then they wake up in the morning and everything's starting to be completely fucked. And it's like, comically fucked in the beginning compared to like Fear the Walking Dead right now, where it's very like
It's slow. Like,
there's
it's
weird
slowly
reports they're
devolving.
hearing. This kid wants to bring a knife to school because he's afraid of this. It's like awesome the way they do it. It's like already though it's moving so fast. And granted, this kind of infection thing would happen really quickly,
Yeah, it
but it's
happened
just
really
like
fast.
I'm already that first episode. I was like, oh, just go a little bit longer here. You know what I mean? I hate when it gets so far gone of like where I like Walking Dead. Don't get me wrong, but like them having their own civilization or society or whatever they're building now in their like weird town. It's like, all right, but like, what was it like to be in Atlanta when it fell? And that's why I loved the book so much, like Rise of the Governor and shit like that, where it was like, we're going to tell you like what these people went through or did. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm right there with you, and that's why I like it. I mean, and I also love that they tend to pick characters that are atypical. They're not your like Rick Grimes was an obvious choice for a character at first, and then of course he goes through a transition where he hits a very low point and then comes back as the person we want him to be, but he's totally different. He's totally transformed. But look at our main characters in this. We've got 2 school teachers and a heroin addict.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. And so how are they gonna like? You're setting them up for just sheer disaster. They should not be able to survive this. So that's what I'm most fascinated about. Is I'm terrified for them, and I want to see what that's going to what they have to go through to survive, because I know what it takes now. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Is like, shit, I know what it takes. I know what Carol had to go through.
I hope that this ends eventually, and it's just them. They're all dead. You know what I mean? Like they just couldn't hack it, because you know what I mean. Like
That would
I
be
can't see any
awesome.
of them making that change. But I mean, I also knew Rick so well. I guess
I couldn't see Carol making the change.
Sure.
Carol's like a motherfucking badass.
Yeah,
I feel like you're talking about things now that you just like.
We are. Kristine, what is something you deluded yourself
Sorry.
into not liking? Or I'm sorry,
No.
what's something that was bad that you deluded yourself into liking?
It's hard for me because I don't have that many precious things. I don't feel like you have Superman and Ghostbusters and things that are. Like,
Oh, I can name a bunch of Guild Wars.
It's not like if there's a thing that comes
Quest
out
for
and I don't
Glory?
like it, I'm not gonna think that I like it.
No, I'm saying
because
these
I
are
like the
bad,
thing.
and you've deluded yourself into liking them. Oh, you like MOBAs too? Like what are we fucking talking about?
I played League a bit. It doesn't mean I'm in love with MOBAs. I've never played Dota. I don't think I ever will. But the thing that I was thinking about when you guys were mentioning Walking Dead, and I don't hate this and I don't think it's terrible, but Game of Thrones is kind of losing me.
Ah, yes.
And I've read the books, and the books are getting progressively worse as well. So like, we watched part of season 1
we
where we were stopped. I was like, I don't like this. Nothing good happens in this.
And this is like when it was happening, by the way, to give you time frame.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So this
A
is
few
several
years
years
back.
ago.
Yeah. When it debuted, we were in from the first episodes, and I was having that thing. She hadn't read the books yet.
Yeah.
And I was watching, and I do the same thing I do now, where it's just like people pop up or they mention somebody by a name, and I'm like, who is that?
Yeah,
What is that
it was
person?
confusing. It was hard to like keep track
Yeah.
of everybody, and then it was just like everything is awful.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he hates this about me, but I'm somebody who just wants to watch comedy most of the time.
No, I don't.
Like, I
don't.
want to.
But I'm like, Kristine, there's this fascinating documentary. She's like,
I'm
oh,
like,
it
I
sounds
don't
sad.
care.
I'm like,
I
oh.
want something that's gonna uplift me. I don't need to be drugged down. Like,
I'm right there with you.
Listen to Josh Groban albums and leave me alone then.
I
He
no, I
raised
mean,
you
I
up.
I was like, doesn't he sing saddish songs? But I guess not. I don't know.
that's Malcolm McDonald.
So, no.
But
That
anyway,
that was a pretty good.
so we
That's
stopped
not Michael
watching.
McDonald.
That's not. That's not.
Who's that?
Subway. What we're
Caribbean Queen, fuck.
who did that?
Is not.
That's not Michael McDonald. I'm sorry. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it is. I don't fucking know. Anyways,
No, it's not.
I'm
Fuck,
right
forget
there.
it. Anyways,
You think about it. I'm right
Game of
there with
Thrones.
you.
Game of
though.
Thrones. So yeah, so we didn't really like it. We stopped watching it. Then I was like, you know what? People keep talking about these books and how good they are. I'm just gonna read them. I was going on vacation soon, so I grabbed the first one. And I was like, I really like this. So then I started reading them, and I think it was like up through
Billy Ocean.
book 3, and I was like, these are really good. I like this a lot. I like this is going. 4 was good still, because it had Dorne in it. But then like the last book I just read was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And they've already caught up to it on the show.
Yeah.
So, and the last season of the show, I wasn't that motivated to even watch.
No, see, and that's
Yeah,
the problem
that's
is we are in that fatigue area with the show. It's because I think it's that 5th season like slump, and like every show hits it. Like I don't care how good the show is, 5 seasons without a resolution of some sort, people eventually just go like, I don't need this in my life that much anymore.
Right.
It's not as important as it was, because at for the first 2 seasons or 3 seasons, like a look at Lost, right? And Lost is another one where I think I didn't delude myself into liking it. All of my friends deluded themselves into liking it past season 3. No, season 1 and 2, phenomenal. Probably some of the best television ever made. I will put season 1 and 2 of Lost up against any other season for their time and during that moment, and how much you were in love with those characters. And then 3 starts happening, and they had that problem where they had to keep it going because it was such a moneymaker for the network. And it just became its own worst parody of itself, where nothing made sense, and all of the stuff they were driving toward, they were like, "Shit, we have to throw that. We have to like pad, man, just stretch because we need 2 more seasons." And all of my friends were like, "No, it's still good." And I'm like, "This is not good anymore. It's not. It doesn't make any sense. I don't like any of the characters. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know why they're off the island and back on the island. It would have been so cool to see that go through just 3 seasons and done. That would have been awesome." But that's what we're in with Game of Thrones, where like they're gonna go 2 more seasons.
And the books aren't even fucking done.
Yeah, that's the problem. So what are they gonna do next season?
Yeah, they're just making shit up.
They're gonna pad an entire season, of content.
Like, what?
So I don't know.
So yeah, I don't. It's and not only that, but I feel like the seasons. It was less annoying when there was the first few, but I feel like it's just getting to a formula to the point where that's why we kind of stopped watching. I mean, we ended up going through and finishing it, but it was kind of a struggle. And that is like nothing happens. Amazing episode where shit happens. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. Oh, another. It's like there's like 2 or 3 episodes you need to really watch the season, and the rest is just filler.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll throw out another one that I kind of. This is actually a perfect example. For like 2 or 3 years, I was like, because all of my friends love this series, and I had read the books beforehand, and I'm like, it was
Harry
huge.
Potter.
No.
Fucking Potter.
God no.
Harry Potter is fantastic.
It's fantastic, and anyone that argues opposite,
we'll kill.
I will strangle you, and I will watch the light just turn off in your eyes as I do it, just seep away. No, Lord of the Rings. It was one of those where I watched it. I read the books. Everyone was into it. They made this big push, and I was like, I'm going to read these books because they're classics. And I'm like, I really liked these books. And it was such a struggle to get there. I read like 1 a year. That's how hard they were for me to read because I was like, I don't really like this.
I haven't even read them. I just tried.
You're a nerd.
God,
I liked The Hobbit a lot.
So The Hobbit was good. The Lord of the Rings was when he was like, oh, I can just write a ton of stuff and have him sing and do all this shit. And like, and it was, I mean, it's an epic. It's thousands of pages, I think. And the story is cool and the world they built is cool. But when they went to the movies, I was just like, I don't need this to necessarily like, I don't need all this. Because a lot of it is unnecessary. Like there's the war. And I watched it a little bit on the plane. That's why on the way back it was on.
Oh, yeah.
So I was watching it. I'm like, oh man, I forget. Like I really just don't vibe with this story at all. It does not do it for me. I really don't care about anything because I guess at the end of it, I was like, all that really matters is that he throws his fucking ring in the thing. Everything else is ancillary. 100%. Sure. Like, oh, there's the orcs are coming up and they're going to kill the kingdom of men. I'm like, yeah, but as long as he throws the ring in there, Sauron won't come back. And that's really all that matters. And he's the one that's like driving like all this stuff. Bad guys, so who cares? But yeah, remember how much everyone loves that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I
still really like them.
From the jump, I knew those weren't my kind of movies, but it was back in that day. That's what your friends went to the movies. You went to the movies, and I watched them, and they were fine. I'm like, all right, whatever. But it's just like when The Hobbit came around, I was like, nope, I am done. I do not want to see any more of these motherfuckers. Get out of here with your Shire.
The Hobbit is a short story, so I would have been okay to see The Hobbit if it had been one movie.
I wish they'd have done that.
And then when they were like, we're splitting it into 3, I was like, fuck you, I'm not saying it.
They're not splitting it into 3. They're splitting it into like 3 2.5 hour long films.
Right.
Where I'm like,
where it's like, how could you possibly have stretched this material?
Oh my god, it's so. I just watched. I want to say, what is it? Oh, the War of 5 Kingdoms or whatever, or 5 Armies, the last one that came out. And I'm like, because I want to know what happens. And I watched it, and I'm just like,
the book. It's a lot shorter.
I mean, I did read the book.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, I know how they, but the book didn't. The book wasn't about necessarily like the movie's going a lot more depth of like the smog is like not the main.
So what you're saying is they make shit up.
I don't think they made stuff. I know they went into some of the other source material that was around
the appendices. That was a big deal.
Cerulean or something like that. There was some other
Silmarillion.
That's what it was. I don't really know what that is, but I just know that
it's another book.
Yeah, so they went into that. Which is dope.
I didn't read that one either. I literally only read The Hobbit from him.
No, it was beautifully done. It's a beautifully made movie, and if you're into that lore, I can see why you would like it. But I'm just like, dude, like this could have been so cool if they had just made a 2-hour long movie.
Yeah,
because I like the art direction behind it, and I like the world, and some moments of it are beautiful. But they start talking about characters. I'm like, what? You talk about Game of Thrones being hard to remember. Everyone's named either Aragorn. There's an Eric Kane, Eric Martin. Like, there's a bunch of other. Ex-head of social at IGN is in it. I don't know. It's too hard for me to get into. I can't get into it.
I agree.
Yeah.
Final topic. Everybody ready?
Yeah.
Strap in. Nick, this is your expertise.
Oh, look, I got a surfboard, Greg. I got a surfboard in my hand. Everybody
Going on
goes
down
It's
to
just
the
the
surf
table.
shop.
You're just holding the
is it
table.
the table? I thought
Yeah.
it was a board.
Nick, this is something you've been prepping for. I'd like to think
Try
your
some
whole life.
flavor.
Sure.
It comes from patreon.com/kindafunny, where Shahar Goldfinger, who we know well,
What up, Shaw?
he has been giving us money, and he picked this topic.
Sure.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe's best abs.
Marvel.
Chris Hemsworth.
See, now that's where my mind went, but I think he might have the best biceps. I think
that's a good
Chris
point.
Evans is spectacular in Captain
Can
America.
we potentially look some of these up for
Sure.
research purposes?
Of course.
Of course.
Let me think here.
Who do you want first? You want Chris?
Yeah, let's get. Well, I'll look up Chris. You
Chris
look up Chris Hemsworth. I'll look up Chris Evans.
Okay, I like that.
Because I don't remember Evans offhand. Evans had some big ass biceps too.
Yeah, but he was. I mean, all these guys, don't get me wrong, jacked as mofos. Now here's
I actually no. I'm sorry. I take it back.
Agent
Ryan
Coulson.
Reynolds has the best abs.
Ryan
Reynolds.
But he's
Oh.
not. Because is he technically? No, he's
No,
not.
he's
He's
not
not in
Marvel
Marvel. That's
Cinematic
right.
Universe.
That's right. He's in the Fox universe. So no, he. Sorry, Ryan.
now what I'm
You're
challenging
dismissed.
you to
Fuck
do
you,
with
Ryan.
yours, by the way, is to find him
Topless.
abless. No, I'm sorry. He needs the abs. The abs we need. But I want to see the abs
But it's
in the
just
Marvel
remove his
Cinematic
abs.
Universe. I'm seeing a lot of ab photos here. You know what I mean? But I'm seeing only one where it's Thor for sure.
Oh, that's him as Johnny Storm. No, that's not it. That doesn't work.
Nope.
See, this is for sure from Thor 2. For sure from Thor 2.
Yeah.
Such a
Or maybe
good-looking
Thor 1.
man.
I'm sorry, that's from Thor 1. Thor 1 when he had no
look
powers.
At that he wins. I'm sorry.
Fucking find the photos of Evan's
dude.
abs.
Just give me Evans. Those are pretty good too. I mean, I'd take them both. Let me.
Yeah, but Hemsworth, dude. I mean,
Hemsworth is. He varies.
he's got the
godlike.
bubble butt,
He's
which
like,
helps with the abs.
ooh,
You know what I
the
mean?
bubble butt's nice.
The bubble butt that comes out and just kind of keeps the
I-
pants a little bit like away from the abs.
I will.
Doesn't
I'm not saying.
Evans
Oh,
have a
shoot.
decent butt too? I can't remember.
I gotta go Hemsworth, man. I gotta go.
He's got the
that's-
V thing too.
Yeah, he's got the thrust bucket.
Here's what I
man.
will
That thing
say:
is
Hemsworth
dope.
is the one you just kind of like throw down and
Oh no one.
just.
Hemsworth is.
takes town.
Yeah, it's a good bet that Hemsworth is gonna be. He's gonna come through for you on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas Chris Evans, I feel like I like him more.
You'd marry Chris Evans
Yes.
in the Boff Mary Kills.
Yes.
Here we
Oh
go.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, I would fuck.
All right, now
Chris
these are coming up for
Hemsworth
these are coming up
and
for
marry
Thor
Chris Evans.
abs
Right.
in Thor. Does that change anything for anybody? No.
No, I mean look at
No.
those things. They're ridiculous.
The abdomen area, the pecs could use
See,
a little work
I'm-
there,
I wanna-
but
I'm
the
getting
abs
a-
are spot on.
I'm getting a freestanding photo of Chris Evans and Captain America because
Yeah.
again, he did the one where he's coming out of the tube, so he's at rest there. I don't like that he's at rest there.
Oh, you want one where his abs are engaged?
He's being helped out there. You see more definition there.
God damn.
Yeah, oh my god, these
I'm really turned on
fuckers,
right
dude.
now.
Are you kidding me? If I could,
Here's where it, okay, I think Hemsworth wins. This is the
I gotta-
best. This is the best Evans shot I've been able to find, but I
Oh,
still
wow.
think Hemsworth still is looking better there.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong.
They're
this
both
is
real
we're
good.
splitting hairs here.
Yeah, oh,
but
yeah.
I would have to say Hemsworth has the better. I think
Hemsworth's just kind of like a
in
beast
Thor,
of a man.
like in Avengers, he didn't go as hard. I don't think so. I don't think he.
I don't think
he
any of them have. No offense to them.
No, it's not an offense to them. It's they're already established, and I think that in Chris Evans
Because these are
actually
all the
talked about it.
shirtless photos where it's like you're getting your powers. We need to establish you're a god.
And also all of these guys, this
He's
was
only
like
jerky
this was
for
the
3
tip of
months.
their career. Like Evans had done a bunch of movies, but this made him a megastar,
Yeah.
as did it Hemsworth. And Hemsworth has even said he's like, I worked out harder for Thor 1 than anything I've ever done because I'm like, this is my shot. And when you see the motherfucker with the shirt off,
Yeah.
holy Jesus! I remember, I'll never forget this. I was with Sean Finnegan, I think, and he was like, you had an audible like reaction to the man with the shirt off, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How is this possible?
Because it's amazing.
So are we? I just want to make sure we're not forgetting anybody.
Well,
Are
if
those
you
the
wanna
main
widen it
two?
out-
Like
Well, I mean, I don't think who else is buff because there's not that many other buff dudes.
Ruffalo
What about-
is
what
just in
Ruffalo's not
shape.
buff.
Just in
Ruffalo's-
shape.
Yeah, he's not.
Robert Downey Jr.
Scarlett
is
Johansson.
Yeah, but ScarJo. She
She
never
doesn't
has
show her
cut
abs, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is just fit.
fit. Yeah, Robert Downey's
debatable.
fit. Gwyneth Paltrow probably has the best abs out of all of them, and she had a really good
It's
abs.
true.
in,
That's actually a
Iron
really
Man
good
Ooh,
3.
point.
when
I wanna find
when
those
she
Iron
was
Man
the
3
crazy
abs.
'Cause she does
like
Pilates,
robot
yeah.
lady.
She has a great body.
I mean, she's like she does Pilates and she eats only raw food or something. And
Yeah. Who are we missing? No, what's the guy that played Falcon? I don't think I remember him shirtless. Must not be
Yeah,
memorable.
oh wait, but, when they were running, like
Yeah, but he
on
had
your
like
right,
they had
were
like
did
fitness
they have?
things.
Did they
No,
have
he
shirts
wasn't.
on?
He wasn't shirtless.
No, they had like
Okay.
Under Armour.
I
on.
was just saying if they were gonna be shirtless, that would be the scene to do it in.
If we're widening it out,
about
I would
Bucky?
say
Bucky's abs.
no. Bucky didn't have abs.
What
Bucky
he
was
became the
worst.
whatever
The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they showed him.
They need to
If
have
we're gonna widen it
more
out to the
shirtless
Fox
men.
universe, I would say that Ryan Reynolds probably wins. Ryan Reynolds has, as far as ab definition, he used to be cut. He's still cut. And you got to give a quick nod to Hugh Jackman
This
because
is my favorite
Oh
topic.
my God!
in,
Yeah, Hugh
in
Jackman.
Days of
Oh.
Future Past, when he gets out of the waterbed, you're like,
Hugh
why
Jackman, man.
do you have that many veins in your body? I don't have that many veins. Do you have that many veins?
No.
No one does.
I
It's
have one
inhuman.
vein, I think.
I'll pull up Ryan Reynolds from.
Yes, please.
He was.
I can't get a good shot of Gwyneth Paltrow in
He was
her
Wolverine.
extremis abs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You,
Like, I
you
remember
typing
that
Iron Man 3?
I remember it exists. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
this is
but-
the best it's been able to get.
Oh,
Bless
bless
you,
you.
dog.
Yeah, because I remember that outfit. She definitely showed her abs, but I.
Yeah,
For
but
how
I'm just not, they're
long,
all over.
I
they're
don't
This
know.
one press photo from over the
And
shoulder.
so is like why? Just show
Yeah,
us.
Ryan Reynolds wins if he's included.
Oh, okay,
Ryan
yeah.
Reynolds.
Because he gets
He's
super
not included
skinny.
again.
No, he's not. I know, but his
But if
abs
he
are
was-
good.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. Gwyneth Paltrow looking amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think she's the. I
She
don't
doesn't
think
have a lot of
so
ab
fit.
definition.
Hemsworth has got her here.
But I'm gonna
Hemsworth.
say it's a lot harder for women to have that than it is for men.
Let me see this. Let me just
Women
the last one,
naturally
Hugh
have more
Jackman.
body fat.
Oh, okay.
Hugh
For the
Jackman.
birthing.
For our hormones and things to function, we usually have to have a higher percentage of body fat
For the birthing.
for the periods. Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. Periods suck.
I don't know.
That's true.
I mean, I know he's not Marvel.
Oh yeah.
He's not Marvel, but I think you're right. If we can include Hugh Jackman in this argument, which we can't because it's not the MCU, he would
I
win.
would say Hugh.
So we would go Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds, except they can't be in
I would
it.
go
So
Ryan
then we're
Reynolds,
going-
Hugh Jackman. I would probably go Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, and then give it to Hemsworth because Hemsworth
And then
is
so therefore
Marvel.
Hemsworth wins.
Yeah.
Hemsworth wins.
Yeah, that's how it works.
There you go.
Agent Coulson wasn't there. James Spader.
No, Sam Jackson didn't take his shirt off, and if he did, I don't think he's got it going on down there. Not in the abs department. I think his penis is probably the size
Spectacular.
of a building.
Probably size of Portillo.
He's got his own helicarrier.
Look at him look up. He's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah.
penis? Hello, I am a dude.
I have a tiny penis.
I am a little wiener dog. Hello.
All right, what's happening? What is
That's
going
the
on?
voice for Porty. You know, you know it
go
well.
crazy.
This is how it goes.
Hey, Portillo.
Hi, Wolf. Hi. Yeah, you're okay.
Well, this was an easy debate, Shahar. Sorry.
I mean,
Sorry.
yeah, I think there's just not that many abs that are shown.
No, it's really just between. It really comes down to between Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth, the two Chris's as they call
So
them.
let's expand it from abs. Where do we come down with?
Best physique total, I think, was still Chris Hemsworth and Thor.
Should we do like a
Evans had
fuck,
big
marry,
ass
kill
fucking.
kind of thing?
He had the bigger biceps. I think he actually was physically bigger, but I think proportion wise, Hemsworth just. That they just, I was like, if I were directing that movie, I'd be like, I'm sorry, we gotta just. I just realized we don't have one shirtless scene. We gotta throw like 3 or 4 of these in there just to.
Yeah.
If I was either one of those guys, I'd be like, thank you, because I
be
worked
like, I need
fucking
to.
3 months, 6 months for this.
Yeah, my wife and my sister-in-law were watching that movie at one point, and when he came on screen, and my sister-in-law, I love her to death, but she is the least subtle person I know. She's like, "What the hell?" and just paused it, and then did the. I was like, "How do you have? You saw that frame by frame button? You know, like
Yeah.
on the controller, it's like tick, tick, tick." She's like, "Oh my god!" And
Oh my!
Oh.
I would
God.
feel
Danielle.
inferior if it weren't for the fact that I know I could just. I would like no matter what, I'll never be able to achieve that because
Yeah.
he's like 6'4". He's amazing.
Well,
And
you
Adonis.
also don't have a nutritionist and a personal trainer, and you're not working out 5 hours a day.
But I do
and
do
you're probably
steroids.
Not taking. Yeah, I was about to say he's probably on
You just
some
do you just do it for the
form-
rage though. For
I
the
just
edge.
I like to
of
I take a
supplements
handful of
that may or may not be legal.
Handful?
handful of anabolic steroids every morning just to wake up, just get it into my body, you know, checked up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Game Over Greggy Show. If you didn't know, each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. If you like that, like the video, share us with your friends, and of course, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny, where you can toss a few bucks our way and get each and every episode early. Don't have any bucks? No big deal. Go to
Neither does
youtube.com.
Portillo.
Yeah, Portillo's got nothing. He still gives us views. Go to youtube.com/kindafunny. Watch it get broken up topic by topic, day by day, until we post the entire thing for free as an MP3 and video on Fridays. Nick,
Yes,
thank you for not getting sick.
No.
Let's knock
So
on
far,
wood
so
and
good.
not get sick on our way to Vegas or in Vegas.
I'm gonna try not to.
All right, great. Kristine,
Yeah.
thank you for spending time with us today. Of course, go to
Thanks for
SteimerSays.com.
having me.
Everybody, take care of her.
YouTube.com/Steimer.
Yeah, subscribe, watch her Twitch streams and her YouTube streams. Thanks for taking care of Portillo while we're in Vegas too, and doing Colin Moriarty live. And I guess basically just keeping the house from burning down.
Oh well, don't set me up to fail.
Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.